Hey Infinity users, it's Friday, July 11th, and it's been a week, or a little bit over a week since my last posting where I posted all the improvements and changes that we've made in the electronics of the machine. Today I'm going to talk about mechanics. What are the mechanics? What are mechanicals? Why do we deal with those? What makes them different? And what's the improvements in Infinity Generation 2, which I have coined Infinity O, as in, oh wow, or oh my god, or what our competitors are thinking, oh help us. So anyway, let's go through it. First off, mechanicals are these guys, the foundation. How does the machine feel? How does it look? How does it function? That's all about mechanical stuff. So I'm going to go through and give you a kind of a tutorial on what makes an Infinity Generation 2 or Infinity O our next generation product line. Tell you the improvements. This is for IT users, IE users. The mechanical aspect of Gen 2 is something that will be coming later on this year. It is a much more complex system in terms of there being two parts and two pieces, and quite honestly, I haven't made a design on an exterior. All the internals work good, but I haven't made an external design or what the shape of the machine is that I like yet. So anyway, long and the short, let's break down Infinity, the O in the traditional format. I'll go through it. I'll give you the differences between the previous generations and the next generations, and then the next stuff you're going to see from me will be postings on our upgrade path and when the machine will become available for the end users. So anyway, let's go through it. Let's start first with Generation 1. So this is a Generation 1 machine. What all of you have already. Cam wheel adjustment. When you make the adjustment, the keys go down and they feel a certain way. If you notice on the top of the machine, simply a circuit board located up here. This is our actual depth sensors. This is our cam adjustment wheel, and then our key arms. On this machine, we've got a number of improvements that I made on the new design to make the machine more reliable, but not just more reliable, make it feel better, make it work better, make it just generally a better machine. So I'm going to go through that. I'll give you kind of the breakdown of the old machine and then what's different in the new machine. So in an old machine, we had what was called, and this is pretty standard, a dual comb system. Basically, these two things would line up, and then your arms of the machine would pass through these combs, and this is what kept the arms of the machine in alignment, so they couldn't move out of position. You have two combs. So this is standard. It's been in our machine for a number of years. Actually came into be with the Revolution Grand family of products. Since then, the pros and the cons of the dual comb system is that it's a very quick, easy thing to make. The con is, if you imagine, we have all of these little tiny fingers, all these little tiny lines that have to be lined up perfectly, and if they're not, if they're off ever so slightly, it can impact the feel, the fit, the function. So if this machine takes a tumble or a fall or anything like that, that comb can move around and makes the machine not work as well as you want, and sadly more machines get knocked over than I ever thought possible. The second thing is, in that design, this is our whole spring system. What that means is, as the springs work, the key arm sits on it, they push down, and this just pushes back on them. It's what's called a leaf spring design. Again, really good, really fast, really easy to make. But on a downside is that spring system over time can wear more than anyone would like, so you can see a slight general change in feel. What I've done on the new machine is, in my opinion, quite extraordinary, considering the fact that we've kept all of this new stuff in the same body, the same shell, the same size. So we haven't increased the size of the machine at all, but we've been able to add all sorts of new things. So first and foremost, this right here, actually I'll show you an old one too. So this is what a keyboard assembly looked like on an old machine before it would come out. These little blue things are the magnets. You may not be able to tell that they're blue. There we go. Then we have the up stop, which stops the keys from moving up too far, which that actually sits underneath this cam design here. That up stop sits right there, and all the keys push up on it. Then we have our center assist spring. This is what adds additional force to the center assist arms inside the machine. It all sits on the shaft. As you can see, spins kind of around, it's kind of wobbly, kind of strange. Normally you'd never spin it like that, but the point is to demonstrate what I want to show you in the next one. So what I've done, and also what you'll notice, is that you have metal on metal. And what that means is that is a potential wear point. So it needs grease and lubrication and stuff to keep the machine from wearing. And you'll also notice that these arms are really, really thin, about 50 thousandths of a thickness. So think about credit card thick. In the next generation machine, in Gen 2 or Gen O, Infinity Gen O, I have switched the key arm design. Notice on the back, this is a single arm. I can snap this off. That is our new key arm design. This is not metal on metal. This is a self-lubricating plastic called Delrin. The actual key arm slips into this Delrin model. Your little magnet sensor gets put here, and we get a snap-on fit. And what we should see here is we should see a very, very true spin. What that means is there's no friction there, no noise, no sound, nothing that will make the machine loud in that capacity. So we get rid of a comb and we get rid of a noise potential. But more importantly, we also get rid of a wear point, because now we don't have metal on metal or grease on metal, and that's quite spectacular. You'll notice that it's snap on and snap off. What that means is it allows us to change arms more efficiently in the field, and also allows us to make improvements in design along the way and do them quickly. So for some of you users have switched from one key top, say individual number keys, to a full number bar. This makes that more readily possible. Going further into Gen 2, I've also done away with that dual comb design. Now that we have this system, we've gone to what's called a single comb. This single comb, I'm showing you, this demo model's in aluminum. This is not the model that we're using, but it gives you a quick idea. So now with that real nice arm location, groove, everything stays really true. Doesn't matter if the machine falls over, doesn't matter. This cannot be moved out of alignment, which is awesome. Best thing that you could look for. And in addition to that, I've done that new system out of, let's see if you can see it. See the brass? See that gold in there? So brass is a much more dense material. What that means is it's, again, sound deadening in property, but brass also has a self-lubricating property to it. So that brass comb is also self-lubricating. While we still use some lubricant on the front, that mainly is to control rebound of the keys, how fast they come up, that kind of stuff. But in turn, that is a huge improvement, this new single comb design. Going a bit further, I think I mentioned before that the depth wheel on the new machine spins in both directions. And we make that possible by using these incredibly high tolerance cams, or this cam, which is this guy here. Notice that it's not round, it's kind of off round. And then you've got this guy, which is the upstop roller. Upstop roller, this one, belongs right here. And this is what stops all of the keys on the way up. And then you've got the cam, this guy, this is what stops all the keys on the way down. But being that they're incredibly high tolerance, we get a nice, smooth, really flat key top surface across the top. You'll see over here, this is the gearing mechanism that I use to actually make everything move and be lined up. If you notice those little orange dots, this can show you that it's actually moving. They line up right down there, and you move forward. Taking a step further, you'll also notice at the top, we've changed the spring design from this guy to these guys. These spring design are extension springs, and what it allows us to do is really control how hard the individual keys are. So on this new model machine, you're going to have 4 forces to choose from. 6 gram, which is uber light, like barely anything. 8 gram, which is about what your Infinity Traditionals are now, a little bit less. 10 gram, which is a little bit more than your Infinity Traditionals, are about comparable to the feel on a Diamante. And then 12 gram, for those of you who write harder, which is more comparable to the feel on a Mira. What we can do is we can actually change out or move these springs around. Some are blue, some are black, some are purple, some are red. We change these springs out for different forces, and we can control exactly how hard every single key is. And in this case, we're matching the forces across them, so every key feels the same, and everyone is perfectly consistent. Another mechanical change that we've made, so I've got the body of the writer. This is where our LCD goes. Notice on the back of the LCD we have a nice clear or semi-transparent background. If anybody wants to take a guess why, you'd have to guess, I'm going to tell you. The back of the machine actually will have some LED lights that you can control, just like on a Mac. Well, you can't control on a Mac, but it'll light up to show you the Infinity symbol. You'll be able to control brightness or turn it off entirely, so you're totally in control of that stuff as usual. And then we've done something else. I've modified the front of the LCD case for the new machine, and I've moved that parting line, or that bezel line, which is this guy right here that you can kind of see. I moved it to the side of the case. This doesn't form any actual physical improvement in the machine, but what it does do is it goes ahead and it gives us a cleaner appearance, a better line, a better look, so that you just don't see that parting line. So we've done a lot in this new machine for fit, for form, and for function. What is fit? How does everything fit together and how does it look? What is form? How's its overall appearance? Does it look very expensive? Does it look less expensive? We've improved that. Even though our old machines were nice, this one's nicer. And then we've gone a step further, and we've also worked on the function of the machine. How does it feel? It's improved tremendously. How does it last? It'll last much longer. How is it better? Well, we've simplified it and we've given you more options in how you want the machine to feel. So we've improved the fit, the form, the function in Infinity Generation O. So this is an overview of the Infinity O model, and I will come back soon with a listing of what we can do and how this applies to you. IE users, don't panic. All of you know you're my heart and soul as far as designing and making a machine that's healthier and better for you. And that machine already has all the same concepts behind it, but we're moving forward. So for those IE users that are chomping at the bit for some of these new upgrades, better sampling rates, better all those things, increased Bluetooth, simplified Bluetooth, all of that stuff will become available to you. And then when I come up with a design, a physical design, and how it looks, I will make that available as well. And in turn, you'll have both the electronics and the fit, so you can, IE users, you'll have an incremental upgrade, do the electronics, and then do the physical stuff later on once we find something that just rocks. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.